In today's English lesson, we're going to actually level up your English in a very effective way by studying phrasal verbs that will take your English to more understanding in a conversation, and it'll help you speak more like how native English speakers often speak rather than just learning from a dictionary or textbook that's going to teach you very simple phrases. Phrasal verbs are so useful. I hope that you guys enjoy this lesson. Let's get started. To show up. If you show up, you appear or arrive, often unexpectedly, or it seems like you're coming from out of nowhere. Two common phrases we use this phrasal verb with is we say, are you going to show up on time, or are you going to show up late? This means arrive on time or arrive late. Oftentimes, if you're at a gathering or a party and someone comes later than everyone else and you were expecting them, you could say they showed up out of nowhere. Another way that we use this phrasal verb that's very important is when we are talking about being able to see something, especially writing. So maybe you are writing on a white piece of paper with a yellow marker, and you will say, will this marker show up on this paper? That means, will it be very visible on the paper? Or if you're using a white crayon on a white piece of paper, you'll say, this color won't show up on this paper. That means you won't be able to see it. Drive up. Two uses for this phrasal verb. You can say you are going to drive up something, meaning increasing the quantity of something. We often talk about house prices in the United States, the prices being driven up by high demand. Right now in the United States, there's not enough houses for the amount of people that want to buy them. So the house of prices right now is driven up. Sometimes when there's shortages of food, the type of food that there's a shortage of becomes very expensive. And commonly we would say, oh, the price of lettuce got drove up because there was a big drought, meaning there was no rain where lettuce grows in the United States. And so there's so little of lettuce that can be bought that they have to charge a lot of money for it. We also just use drive up to mean go somewhere in a car by driving. I'm going to drive up to your house tomorrow. And typically we use drive up, the phrasal verb, when we're talking about going a bit of a distance. And we're also using this phrasal verb when we're not going inside of a building. We're just going to drive up and look at it typically. So you may say to someone, do you want to drive up to the city with me tomorrow and go get dinner? So this means that you're going a long distance, you're driving up a long distance. And just because we're using the word up here, it doesn't mean that you have to go in the direction of north. We just use this just to mean a general long distance. Or, hey, drive up to that street. I want to look at that house. So sometimes we just use drive up to mean go that way so we can see something. Just like we use drive up, we often use walk up in English. Do you want to walk up to the store and grab a gallon of milk? So the distance doesn't really matter when you're using this phrase. You could be like, we're going to walk up all the way to the other side of town, or you could say we can walk up to the store. This just means you're going somewhere by foot. Maybe you're talking to a friend and they ran out of gas while driving in the road. You could tell them, hey, walk up to the gas station. Maybe they can give you some gas for your car. Oftentimes we use the phrasal verb start up when we're talking about beginning a process or the process of beginning something. So a lot of times when people are trying to get a business started, they'll say, I'm starting up my business. This means that they are just getting kind of things ready. They're not really open for business yet, or maybe they're trying to get their first clients. So they don't really have a solid, business that's making a lot of money, but they're trying to start it up. And in the United States, you may already know that businesses that are projected to be very big businesses, especially businesses involving technology, when they're small at the beginning, we call those businesses startups. So we use this as a noun as well as a phrasal verb, start up and startups. Maybe you have a slow computer or a slow device. You can say it takes a couple minutes to start up. That means once you turn it on, it has a whole process it needs to go through in order to begin working or to be used. Sometimes in the winter, people start up their cars and let them run for a few minutes so that they're warm when you get into the car. In the United States, We use this phrasal verb to describe raising the price of something. So we say we're going to mark up the price. The phrasal verb to mark up means to increase the price of something. We also use this phrasal verb as a noun. We say, what's the markup on this product? This means how much money is the business increasing the price from what they bought the good. So we often say in the United States, furniture has a really big markup, or we say furniture stores really mark up their pieces. This means that it doesn't cost that much money to make the pieces of furniture as it does they sell them. They sell them at a really high price in comparison to what they actually cost. The markup is big. When you want to say that people are making a line in order to wait for something, you can use the phrasal verb line up. So to line up means to make a line of people, or you can say, I'm going to line up all of my shoes. This means you're just going to put them in an orderly line. Typically, when you're at a bus stop and the bus arrives, people line up to get onto the bus. In the United States, children have to line up in order to walk through the hallways of a school. If you are an English learner, maybe you've signed up for a course on English in the past. The phrasal verb to sign up is used way more commonly than saying enroll or start a membership or start a class or start to begin. We say we are going to sign up for something when we are going to, give our details of our name or address, pay a payment in order to be in a class of some sort. Oftentimes in the new year, people will sign up for a gym membership because their resolution is to get fit or get in shape, which just means to start exercising and taking their health seriously. So people sign up for this membership, and oftentimes people regret signing up for a gym membership because they feel like they're paying money and not really using the service or the gym that they have. To back up. So to back up literally can just mean to walk backwards, or if you're in a car, reverse the car and go backwards. But it's really important as an English learner that you know to back up something means to have a copy of the data or a file on your computer so that you don't lose it if there's some sort of issue in the technology. I like to back up my video files very regularly in case there is something wrong with my computer. So this means I go to a website like Google Drive or Dropbox, and I put my files there so that they are in a second place. Another way that we use this phrasal verb is we can say, can you back me up? This means, can you provide support? Or sometimes police in the United States call back up. This means additional support. So other policemen come when they call for backup. There's lots of different ways that this phrase backup is used, and not just talking about reversing something. To blow up. When we talk about blowing something up, we mean that we are either inflating it with air, so commonly we blow up a balloon, or we blow up a tire with a tire pump, or we're talking about something exploding. If you watch a lot of action movies, maybe movies with Mark Wahlberg, I feel like he's in a lot of action movies, there's always cars and things blowing up or exploding. Oftentimes we use this phrasal verb blow up instead of explode. Another way that we commonly use this phrasal verb to blow up is when someone's popularity increases very quickly, very rapidly, and they become almost viral, especially online. So we'll say, oh, your video blew up. This means maybe you had millions and millions of views all within a few weeks or a month even. To bring up. To bring up means to raise a topic for discussion. Oftentimes in a meeting in the workplace, you will have the opportunity to bring up or discuss problems that you are having with your work. We often tell people it's not polite to bring up politics or religion with people that you don't know well. So this just means to introduce it as a topic for discussion or talking about at a meal or at some sort of meetup. If you want someone to know that they shouldn't talk about something, maybe there is a sensitive subject, you can say, hey, don't bring that up when we see them. This means don't mention the topic or anything that could remind them of the topic. To burn up. To burn up just means to have intense heat or intense fire really quickly. So if it's a very hot day and somebody threw a match onto some dry grass, the grass would immediately burn up or catch fire and start burning very quickly. If you are sick and you have a fever, your body temperature starts to increase very quickly because your body is fighting an infection. We say, I am burning up. This just means your fever is increasing. We can also use burn up to mean consume something very quickly. So if you have your phone out and you're watching a lot of videos on your phone, it might be burning up your battery. This just means using up a lot of the power source from your battery. Or if you're on a camping trip and someone decides to eat a bunch of food and have a bunch of snacks, you could say, hey, don't burn up all our food on the first day. This is supposed to last us many, many days. To call up. So to call up is used just to call someone to have them come somewhere. So if you are bored, maybe you will call up a friend and tell them to come over to hang out or watch a movie. Or if you are having problems in your house, maybe you'll call up a repairman. This means you'll call them and tell them about the problem so that they can come and fix it. So when we say that we're going to call someone to ask them to come to where we are saying that we are calling them up or calling someone up. To cheer up. When you cheer up, you become happier, or if you cheer someone else up, you make them happier. One thing that always cheers me up when I'm a little sad is getting a treat like chocolate or ice cream. I know this is a really common way to cheer a lot of people up. If babies are sad, sometimes we cheer them up by singing to them. To cough up. So we can literally mean that we're coughing up something. If you have something stuck in your throat like food, or you're sick and you're coughing things up, this just means like literally things are coming out when you cough. But less literally, we use the phrasal verb to cough up, meaning to surrender something. So maybe you get somewhere and they say, hey, it's $5 to get in. And you say, oh, I thought it was free. They're like, nope, it's $5. Give me $5. And you're like, I had to cough up $5 to get into this basketball game or whatever it might be. Maybe you park in a no parking zone and you get a ticket. You're going to have to cough up some money in order to, not get into trouble with the law. We use this phrase cough up often to mean surrender money or something else that we just don't want to give. To cover up. So when you cover up something, you conceal it or you hide it. We use cover up when we're talking about makeup, especially for women. We say we're going to cover up, dark circles under our eyes or a blemish like pimple or a scar or something. If you're using makeup to make it look like it's not there, you're covering it up. We also use cover up to mean keep a secret or, make sure that people don't know about a scandal or something bad that's happened. Cover-ups are very, very common in politics. When politicians do things that are not ethical or very bad, oftentimes they'll try to cover it up and just keep it a secret. But a lot of times, just the way the world works, it is not easy to cover up something like a scandal or, something that they've done that's wrong. To dig up. To dig up means to discover something or to unearth something. So we talk about archaeologists or people who study ancient artifacts, especially found in the ground. They dig up dinosaur bones or they dig up sort of fossils. This just means they literally are taking them out of the earth. Now, we also use dig up in a way that means we find out information about someone or we find out scandals or cover-ups that have been made, like we talked about in the last phrasal verb. Oftentimes, when you apply for a job, the boss, before they interview you, will search your name on the internet and they'll try to dig up some information about you just so they know a lot about you before they speak to you in an interview. So to dig up just means to find out information or to find something, but you have to actually search a little bit in order to dig it up. Drink up. Drink up is a phrasal verb that is used when you want someone to drink something completely. So if you make someone a nice drink, you'll say, here, drink up. That means finish it all, enjoy it. So the phrasal verb is used in a way that's specific to especially alcohol, like drink up, enjoy it. Or you can say, I'm going to drink up all of the water right now because I'm so thirsty. This just means you're going to finish it. So when we say drink up, it means we are finishing a beverage. Just like we use drink up, when we say to dry up, this just means we are going to absorb all the water, or all the water or liquid is going to be gone somehow. So if there is a drought, which means a period of no rain, oftentimes rivers and lakes will dry up. This means there will be no water left and it will just be dry dirt. Or when you spill something in your kitchen or in your bathroom, you will grab a towel to dry it up. To end up. When you end up, it means you reach a particular place. So you can end up somewhere, or you can end up in a situation. When you are walking and you just don't really know where you want to go, sometimes you end up at a park or you end up at a friend's house. This just means, you were walking and you did finally find somewhere to go along the way. Or we often use the phrasal verb end up to mean we were surprised that we were somewhere or we ended up somewhere. Maybe you went to the grocery store, but you ended up going to your favorite clothing store and spending more money. You ended up spending more money than you thought you were going to. So these are all kind of surprise events and places that we have gone to and experienced. And this is when we use the phrasal verb to end up. We use this phrasal verb in a question as well if we want to know if someone did something that they intended to do. We could say, hey, did you end up going to the party last night? And they will say, oh, I ended up not going because I didn't feel well. Or yeah, we ended up going there. I had a lot of energy and it was really a fun time. It ended up being great. This just means you were surprised that the situation was great. So end up in a situation or end up in a place. To free up. We use free up when we are making something available. A really common way we use this phrasal verb is we say we are going to free up some time. This just means we're going to try to have some time where we're not busy with tasks, so maybe we can do something else, or I want to free up some time just to relax. This just means I want to put my work to the side, maybe schedule a time where I'm not going to be busy with other people so I can just relax. I'm going to free up some time. Or if we are going to clean an area, maybe get rid of some old furniture and things, we can say we are going to free up some space, free up a space. So maybe you bought a new piano, and pianos are quite large. So in order to fit it in your house, you're going to have to get rid of some things. You're going to have to free up some space. So free up some time and free up some space are the most common ways that we use this phrasal verb. You might hear an English speaker say that people are ganging up on them. We use this phrase to gang up in a really casual way. We're not talking about literal dangerous gangs or any crime. We're just talking about people that are all taking one side against one person. So you're forming a group against one person, and sometimes we say that people are ganging up on another person and it's kind of bullying. Remember, we're not talking about serious crime here when we're saying gang up. So maybe you're in a classroom and your teacher said that you are going to have a lot of homework over the weekend. Maybe all of the students will gang up and say, we shouldn't have this much homework. You are assigning things that aren't really important, and everyone's just having the opposite opinion of the teacher. We could say they are ganging up on the one person. So basically, when we use this phrasal verb to gang up, it can be really useful to mean that a group of people are going against one or few. To gear up. When you gear up for something or for an event, you are getting ready and preparing. Oftentimes, if you are on a sports team, you will look forward to a game that's coming up. Maybe it is Monday and you have a game on Friday. You can say, we are gearing up for the big game. This just means you're practicing, you're getting your game strategy ready, you are getting ready for the game. You're gearing up. Oftentimes, when companies have a new product, they will get ready with new advertisements and new sales methods. They are gearing up for the launch of their new product. So you're gearing up for an event. This means you're getting ready. And we usually use gear up when it's something very important or very big. To give up. If you give up, you surrender or you stop trying. Sometimes if you have kids especially, you might give up on trying to keep your house very clean. This just means you surrender. You say, I can't do it. It feels impossible. I'm just not even going to try anymore. I give up. We can also say that we are going to give up something. Maybe you are trying to lose weight and become fit, focusing on your health. You could say, I'm going to give up sugar. This means you are not going to eat sugar anymore. Or if you are a smoker, you smoke cigarettes, you might say, I'm going to give up smoking. This means you're going to stop it as a habit. You might hear someone say, oh, don't give up. This means don't stop trying. This is a word of encouragement. Here is one really interesting phrasal verb. It's very informal. This is considered slang, but the phrasal verb is to knock up. Knock up means to get someone pregnant, or you can say, I got knocked up. This means you got pregnant. Again, this is super informal. This is super slang, and it's very brash way of saying that you are pregnant or someone else is pregnant or you knocked someone up and got them pregnant. So be careful how you use this phrase, but there's even a movie named Knocked Up, and it's all about someone getting pregnant. So this is a very common slang phrasal verb that you need to know. Live up, and we say live up to. The most common way we use this phrasal verb is meaning that someone is meeting expectations. Live up to the expectations. Maybe your parents think that you are going to be a doctor someday. If you don't become a doctor and you don't even get into medical school, you have not lived up to their expectations, meaning you haven't met their expectations. The other way we use this phrasal verb very commonly is we can't live up to our reputation, or they lived up to their reputation. This means they have a reputation or something that someone believes about the person. A lot of people commonly believe about the person. And if they live up to their reputation, it means they do exactly as people believe they will do. Maybe you go to a band that has a reputation for putting on a really great show, but you go to the concert and the show isn't very good. They did not live up to the reputation, or they did not meet the expectations. Open up. The phrasal verb open up can literally mean, to open a door or open some sort of compartment. I'm going to open up this cabinet to see if I have any clean dishes. Or can you open up the door so I can come talk to you? Maybe you say this when someone's shut inside of a room. We can also say that someone is opening up when they are starting to reveal more of their true thoughts and more of their true beliefs. So a lot of people can be very closed off as we describe them. And if you get to know them, if you meet them a lot of times and slowly become friends, you might say that they are opening up to you. They're starting to tell you more of their thoughts and feelings. Read up. If someone is going to learn more about a specific topic, we can say that they are going to read up on the topic. So you're going to check out a lot of books from the library. You're going to go online and search everything about this topic. And maybe you want to learn more English idioms. So you'll read up on idioms in a book, or you'll take a course. You can sign up for my course on englishwithkayla.com. You're just going to find out and learn everything about the topic. You guys have now completed this lesson on phrasal verbs. I hope you found it very useful. Check out one of the lessons on screen next, and you can learn even more phrasal verbs, increase your vocabulary so you can actually improve your English to the next level. Thanks again for watching. I'll see you guys in the next English lesson. Goodbye.